Hey, what's up, guys? It's Cam here, the founder of Tenaz, here with our second community question and answer video. I'm really excited to answer some questions from the community. Now, of course, I won't be able to condense every question from the community into one video, but as I've said before, there will be more opportunities. This is not going to be the last time that we do this style of video. I'm always happy to answer questions because not only is Tenaz built on transparency, but I also just want every single member of the community to have the best understanding of our project, of our roadmap, where we're headed, what we're working towards, because at the end of the day, that's just building a stronger and stronger foundation for the project. So before we jump into the questions, one thing that came up recently that I want to clarify and touch base on is we've been scratching our heads over the past week at some issues people were having, seeing a maintenance mode screen or a network error or just an incomplete app screen. We searched high and low amongst our project throughout our app. We tried to recreate the issues and we were unsuccessful. Finally, we found the root cause of the issue, and unfortunately, it is unfixable from our end. This is not our choice. We wish things were different, but ever since our most recent app update, we're now running the latest versions of Android APIs. If we do not run the latest versions, we cannot be listed on the app stores. Unfortunately, this doesn't allow some of the older Android operating systems. We apologize to anyone that this may affect, but again, this is just out of our control. If we don't stay updated, then we cannot maintain our listings on the app stores. So anyways, let's move on to the community questions. First thing I'm going to talk about is, will there be staking or vesting of the token in the future? As of right now, we do not have plans to allow people to stake their coins. We've watched other projects fail in that aspect, and we just don't want users to have their tokens locked up when mainnet time comes, because when we get to that point, they're your tokens, so they should be free to trade whenever you need to. A popular question is, are we mining points or tokens? So the balance that you're mining on the app will be the transferable balance onto the mainnet when that time comes. So whether you want to call them points or tokens or coins, or whatever is really irrelevant, because your balance is your balance. Now, while we're talking about the tokens, I'm going to touch on the question, will the tokens be tradable before we launch on the mainnet? So the answer is yes, we do have plans of operating a test net before we launch to the mainnet, which would allow users to send and receive Tenaz tokens amongst each other. As far as timelines go for testnet, mainnet, or any similar milestone, there is no set date. These are things we are not rushing. We just launched the first phase of the project just 4 months ago. We are building an entire ecosystem around the Tenaz token. We are building real fintech technology. There's a lot of moving parts. And that's why, like I said at the beginning of this video, I want the community to have the deepest understanding of the project as you can, so you can see where we're going. If we wanted to launch a quick project, we would have launched a meme coin. But that's not what this project is about. We are building things that haven't been built before. We are filling in the gaps of the current global trade system. We're making waves in the financial sector by not only making cryptocurrency more accessible, but we're making it more usable and spendable in your everyday lives. We are empowering people around the globe. That also plays into my answer regarding the questions around the maximum supply. I understand 100 billion tokens sounds like a lot, but when we're talking about facilitating daily transactions in every corner of the globe, the project needs to be scalable. So 100 million or 200 million tokens, it just doesn't work. We need the liquidity to be able to facilitate the transaction. Now, all this being said, we do have plans of adding a burn mechanism for the token, because we do believe it's extremely important to perfectly match the demand for the token and the total supply. We're not rushing this process, because another thing to maintain a stable ecosystem is fair token distribution. So I'm going to touch base on 2 more questions before I wrap up. The first question is, what makes Tenaz different from other mining projects? Now, I believe it's the layered approach to the project and building the ecosystem. We like to compare ourselves to a Ripple XRP relationship, because Tenaz Technologies Incorporated is a fintech startup that's building financial technologies to change the way that people transact around the globe. As a company, this is our long-term revenue plan and how we plan to succeed. So as we build these utilities and new technologies, these are also creating use case for the token Tenaz. So of course, this creates demand for the token, and value comes from demand. So by having these utilities in place before we launch the token, we are setting the stage for astronomical growth. Now, not only does our structure set us apart from other projects, but it's also our transparency. Again, we want you to have the best understanding you can of the project, and we're happy to answer the questions along the way. So the last question I'm going to touch on is regarding KYC. When will KYC be available and in what form? So in 2026, we will be building our KYC system. We do envision it being as automated as we possibly can make it. But of course, we need to ensure that we're abiding by all necessary regulation. So again, we will be working on this in 2026, and we'll see where we get to later on in the year. So that's where I'm going to wrap things up, guys. Now, not only a massive thank you for your questions, but an even bigger thank you just for being a part of the community. Engaging, commenting, staying active. We see you. We appreciate you. Keep it up, guys. Stay tuned, and you'll be hearing from me very soon.